This is not just another celebrity headline. This is a clash that has shaken Hollywood. Blake Lively, once praised for her grace and control, is now facing accusations that have turned into a storm. Her team stands accused of diva-style tactics in a heated Greenstein deposition. And just when the dust seemed ready to settle, Justin Baldoni's camp has stepped forward with a sharp response. The battle is no longer just about words. It is about power, image, and the legal stage where reputations can rise or crumble. Stay with us as we uncover how this clash began, what's been said, how fans are reacting, and why the world is watching more closely than ever. Understand how the Greenstein clash became such a storm. We need to step back into the larger legal conflict that brought Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni into the spotlight. Both stars have built images that reach far beyond the screen. Blake Lively, known for her roles and her strong presence in fashion and Hollywood circles. Justin Baldoni, respected for his thoughtful work and reputation as a balanced voice in the industry. The Greenstein deposition was expected to be just another step in a long legal process. Yet the moment quickly turned into something far more dramatic. The tension began when reports surfaced that Blake's team had taken an aggressive stand during the questioning. The term diva tactics started appearing not from random rumors, but from whispers inside the legal proceedings, and soon after from entertainment outlets that thrive on every twist. As background sets the stage for why the clash matters, because in Hollywood, image is everything, and once an accusation sticks, it can reshape the public view faster than any performance on screen. The allegations against Blake Lively's team revolve around a handling of the Greenstein deposition. According to reports, her legal representatives and advisors pushed back in ways that some described as controlling, disruptive, or even dismissive. The word diva was not used lightly. It suggests a behavior that goes beyond strong defense and enters into the realm of arrogance. Observers noted that certain responses during questioning were blocked or delayed, adding to frustration of those present. Allegations also surfaced that Blake's camp tried to dominate the pace and flow of the deposition, a move that some critics labeled as power play rather than legal strategy. Entertainment media picked up on these claims quickly. Headlines framed the situation as a battle of personalities and strategies rather than a simple legal step. And once the story left the courtroom and entered the media cycle, the narrative took on a life of its own for Blake Lively. This meant more than just facing a legal challenge. It meant facing a reputational storm that could spill into every part of her career. Justin Baldoni's team did not stay silent. When the accusations against Blake's camp grew louder, they chose to respond. Reports suggest that Baldoni's representatives framed their statement carefully but firmly. They called for fairness and transparency in the process. They insisted that no single team should control the pace of questioning and that the truth deserved to surface without obstruction. This response resonated with many who see Baldoni as a figure of calm and integrity. His words were framed as a call for balance rather than a direct attack. Yet make no mistake, the message was clear. His camp was not going to let the diva narrative dominate without presenting their side. The tension escalated from a legal dispute into a war of public perception. Suddenly, it was not only about what happened in the deposition room, but also about how the two stars were seen by fans, media, and Hollywood insiders. Once the reports of diva tactics hit the press, the story began to move faster than anyone expected. News outlets across Hollywood framed it as a power struggle. Some headlines painted Blake as a star losing her cool. Others suggested her team was simply doing its job to protect her in a high-stakes moment. Tabloid sites added fuel by publishing anonymous claims from supposed insiders. Each claim suggested that tension in the deposition room was worse than the public first realized. According to these whispers, arguments over the pace and tone of questioning stretched the meeting for hours. The word clash seemed to describe not just one exchange, but the entire atmosphere. Mainstream media also joined the conversation. Legal experts were invited on panels to explain what such behavior could mean. Some analysts argued that aggressive tactics were common in depositions and that the diva label was unfair. Others insisted that if the reports were accurate, then Blake's team had crossed the line of professionalism. The contrast in coverage created an even bigger storm. Some stories portrayed Blake as a victim of exaggerated claims. Others framed her as the cause of unnecessary drama. The mixed narrative made it difficult for casual fans to know what to believe. While the media spun its stories, social media turned the clash into a trending spectacle on platforms like X, TikTok, and Instagram. Hashtags began appearing. Fans split into groups. Some defended Blake, arguing that strong women are too often labeled as divas. Others criticized her team, saying that power should not excuse poor behavior. Memes began to appear showing imagined scenes of the deposition, complete with dramatic captions. TikTok creators produced short skits acting out exaggerated versions of the clash. Some were humorous, while others carried sharp criticism. What stood out most was how quickly social media influence shaped the wider narrative. For many viewers who never read a legal brief or news article, memes and short videos became the story itself. They did not care about the technical details of deposition conduct. They cared about the drama, the personalities, and the sense of conflict between two famous names. This wave of online attention made the clash not just a legal matter, but a cultural moment. The court of public opinion was now fully in session. Beyond the noise of headlines and social media, the Greenstein deposition still carried real weight in the ongoing legal case. Experts explained that if Blake's team was seen as obstructive or manipulative, it could influence future rulings. Judges and lawyers often look closely at patterns of behavior. If a team is viewed as unfair, it may lose credibility in the eyes of the court. Some analysts argue that the allegations, if true, could slow down proceedings or even give the opposing side stronger ground to push for penalties. Others noted that unless hard evidence of misconduct was presented, the claims against Blake Lively's team might remain as public noise rather than legal fact. Yet, what became clear was that the deposition clash was more than just a temporary headline. It had the potential to shape the pace and tone of the broader case in ways that both sides could not ignore. A single deposition can ripple outward, setting patterns that influence legal strategy for months or even years to come for both Blake and Justin. The legal aspect carried another layer of risk. Reputations in Hollywood are tied not only to talent, but also to how stars handle pressure and conflict. A courtroom clash may appear far removed from red carpets and film sets, but in reality, the way teams manage such situations becomes part of celebrity's story. The deposition and its fallout could be remembered long after the case itself ends. Inside Hollywood, the Greenstein clash became more than just a trending story. It turned into a quiet but meaningful conversation about the balance of power between fame and the legal system. Some insiders whispered that the incident exposed a familiar tension. Stars often believe that their fame can shape outcomes in rooms where the law should be the only authority. Others argued that Blake's team was doing exactly what any high-profile legal team would do, protecting the client with every tool available at industry events and private gatherings. Two portraits of Blake began to spread. One image painted her as a strong figure who refused to be pushed around by tough. Questioning this version celebrated her as someone unwilling to bend under pressure. The other image painted her as a star whose team had taken things too far, a figure who allowed aggressive tactics to overshadow professionalism. Both versions circulated quickly among executives, journalists, and peers, and both versions influenced how people began to see her. Justin Baldoni's camp also drew attention. Insiders noted how carefully his team shaped their response by staying measured, by avoiding words that could appear overblown. They created an image of Baldoni as the opposite of the diva narrative, calm, steady, and unwilling to let the storm control him. This contrast strengthened his reputation among Hollywood circles. It allowed him to occupy the role of balance and integrity in the public imagination. The stakes of the clash were not only legal, but reputational. Reputation in Hollywood is a form of currency. A single event can alter casting decisions, endorsements, and creative opportunities. Blake Lively has long been respected for her professionalism, her influence in fashion, and her image as a reliable star. The allegations of diva tactics threatened to chip away at that image. Some brand analysts pointed out that luxury companies and advertisers watch these stories closely. A star linked with disruptive behavior can be seen as risky. No brand wants its campaign to be overshadowed by controversy. Instead of glamour, the longer the diva narrative lingers, the more it could influence how producers and marketers view Blake's public image. It is not only about whether the allegations are true or false, it is about perception. And in Hollywood, perception often matters more than fact. A rumor repeated enough can turn into a barrier for new deals. A narrative left unchecked can follow an actor from one project to the next. For Justin Baldoni, the same storm presented a different opportunity. His calm response positioned him as a voice of reason at a moment when the spotlight was most intense. Analysts suggested that if the storm continued, he could actually benefit from the contrast. He could gain roles and brand partnerships by embodying balance, authenticity, and trustworthiness. The Hollywood system often rewards figures who appear stable and reliable. Baldoni's camp seemed to understand this very well, and they leaned into it. The long-term impact of the Greenstein clash may not be fully visible yet. Future projects and endorsements will reveal whether Blake manages to shake off the diva narrative or whether it continues to follow her. For Baldoni, the months ahead may bring unexpected opportunities created by the perception of a steady hand. What is already certain is that both stars may face very different outcomes from the same event. The Greenstein clash began as a routine deposition, ended as a storm that reached far beyond the courtroom and into the heart of celebrity culture. It shook the reputations of two of Hollywood's most talked about names. Blake Lively now faces a challenge of proving that her strength and assertiveness do not equal arrogance. Her team must find ways to show that defending a star does not require crossing professional boundaries. Justin Baldoni, on the other hand, has transformed the same moment into a chance to build his reputation as a calm, grounded, and steady voice. The public will continue to watch as the case unfolds. Every statement from a lawyer, every headline in a tabloid, and every trend on social media will shape how history remembers this moment for Blake and Justin. The battle is no longer confined to legal filings. It is spilled into the wider world where perception rules. As much as fact for now, the clash serves as a reminder that in Hollywood, battles are fought not only in courtrooms, but also in the hearts and minds of audiences around the globe. The story of the Greenstein clash will likely continue to evolve. The legal side may bring new surprises, new depositions and hearings may spark fresh headlines. Fans may continue to argue online, each side defending their favorite star with passion and loyalty. The industry will keep whispering and speculating about what these events say about power, fame, and control. And through it all, Blake and Justin will be forced to navigate a path where every move carries meaning. In the end, the Greenstein clash is more than a single event. It is a case study in how modern celebrity culture works. It shows how quickly a legal process can become entertainment, how reputations can rise or fall based on a single phrase like diva tactics, and how stars are judged not just by their performances, but by their ability to handle storms both on screen and off. Stay tuned to Star Celebrities for the next twist in this high-stakes story, because if Hollywood has taught us anything, it is that the drama never ends.